Hello and welcome to Colorado Mountain College. My name is Joseph Police and I'm going to be your online math teacher this semester. This class that you're in is a part of the School of Transitional Education. This is often called developmental education as well. But this is, and we'll talk a little bit more about what that is in the next couple of minutes. But I just want to introduce myself. Again, my name is Joseph Police, and this is a video about the online course orientation. So I'm going to teach you how to be a student in this class, kind of the expectations of, how to do homework, how to take notes, how to, how I'm going to grade you and all that kind of stuff. We're going to go over the syllabus in this video as well. A little bit about me. I'm a high school math teacher in Frisco, Colorado. I'm an adjunct CMC professor, so I teach Math 050 and Math 055, and then I do a lot of concurrent enrollment for the high school that I teach at. The reason I am a teacher at the school that I'm a teacher at is because I specialize in flipped, blended, and online learning. And so I'm going to talk a little bit more about why I teach this way, and why it's so powerful and how you can become a better student from it. So we'll see in a bit. Okay, so just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the School of Transitional Education. This school is also called the School of Developmental Education, and so the point of this class and these classes that are in this part of Colorado Mountain College is to prepare you for college level courses and your degree requirements, okay? And so, one thing that you have to understand is that even though you are in college, these courses are preparing you for college level, okay? So what these courses do is they provide you the additional skills that you're going to need for college level courses. You were probably placed in this class based by an AccuPlacer score or some sort of standardized test score like an SAT. Okay, and the difference between the School of Transitional Education or DevEd and your normal CMC classes is that the credits for this class count towards your GPA only and not your degree. It can sometimes be part of like an admission into your degree. I know for like nursing, for example, you need Math 055 in order to get into the nursing program, and I think that you're done with classes. But one of the things that I want you guys to do is talk to your advisor about what math classes you need for your degree. Okay. And that's really important that you have a clear picture as to what you need to take. And make sure that, when you take a math class, so, right now it's, whatever semester it is, you should be making sure that you are taking a math class the next following semester, okay? Because right now, when you're in this class, it's going to be fresh. All right, you want to make sure that by the next time that you can take the next opportunity you can take a class, that you're taking a math class. And you want to keep that ball rolling, because if you take a semester off or you take a year off, you're not going to remember everything that was taught to you in the class that you're currently in. So it's really important that you talk to your advisor about that and you knock these credits out. The other thing that I do want to mention about this, sorry that I'm going, top to bottom to top here, is if you were to fail or withdraw from this course, this can affect financial aid. So if you are receiving financial aid, you do need to be aware that if you do end up failing this class or you withdraw for whatever reason, that you want to make sure that that doesn't affect your financial aid, okay? And so what we call that is the Satisfactory Academic Progress, or SAP. And you're going to want to talk to your financial aid advisor about that if you have any questions. So I just wanted to make sure, the portion of this video, guys, is to make sure that you understand what kind of credit you're getting in this class and how that plays a role in your degree. Everyone's going to be different, okay? So it's something that you got to talk to your advisor about and make sure that you're, in the right place. There's nothing wrong with being in this class, okay? simply what it says is that we need to, give you some more skills in order to take those college level courses, even though you are in college, okay? But we want to make sure that before you start taking those college level courses, that you have the necessary skills to be successful in those courses, okay? All right. All right, so I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what flipped, blended, and online learning is. And before I do that, I want to tell you a little story. In the summer of 2012, at the high school I used to work at in Kansas City, they wanted me to teach calculus, okay? And before I taught calculus, I had to go and brush up on my trigonometry, which is like an aspect of math that you kind of have to know before you do calculus. And so, I hadn't done trigonometry in about, 8 years. And so I went back to brush up, and I did what I normally would do, is I would get the book, and I started reading the book. Now, I had about 2 weeks to brush up on all of my trigonometry. And what happened is that I, within about, I probably read the book for about 2 hours. I got through one page, and I had more questions than I had answers to. And I got really frustrated, and I had about 100 pages to get through of material. And I'm thinking to myself, this is going to take way too long. I don't have any other resources. But then what I decided to do to try to answer some of my questions, I went to YouTube and I typed in trigonometry. And what happened was I had a list of videos that popped up. And I watched videos for about another 2 hours. And I was able to brush up on all of my trigonometry in 2 hours. So what I thought about when I said, look, it took me 2 hours to brush up on something via video versus something that would have taken me weeks, maybe months to do via book. And so I had this idea. Now, I'm not the first person to have this idea, but it's the concept of using videos to learn, okay? And I embarked on this thing called the flipped classroom. Since I've moved to Colorado and working at a school that we use a lot of this stuff, I started doing a lot of things like blended learning and all that. So they're all kind of similar, but what you guys are really going to be focusing on right now is the online learning aspect. And so what I've done is I have taken the concept of the flipped classroom and blended learning, and I've turned it and made that into a cool form of online learning. So, one of the cool things about the ability to learn via video is that this becomes a very personalized learning experience for you. I want you to think back to the last math class that you were ever in. And I want you to think about what happened when the teacher was up at the board teaching. And when they were up at the board teaching, you probably understood what they were doing, and you were able to follow along. Maybe you had some questions here and there. But then, flip forward 5 to 6 hours, and all of a sudden it's time for you to do the homework, and you're looking at a set of notes, and you're looking at the book, and you're wondering to yourself, what am I supposed to do? Now, when the teacher did it, it was really easy. But now that I'm doing it on my own, it's really hard. And I always had this problem growing up. I was this type of math student, and I would come home and I'd start working on math, and I'd be like, wait a second, I don't know what I'm doing. And then I wouldn't do anything, and I'd go to class the next day, and I'd be like, hey, I don't understand what I was supposed to do last night. And that was a problem because I wasn't using my time efficiently. And I wasn't learning to the best of my ability. And so what I realized was, I often at the time sat there and said, what if I had a video that explained how to do this so that when I was stuck, I could go back and rewatch that video to brush up on what I was doing. So, that's the type of, math student that I was. And this concept of using videos to learn really, really, really helps that type of learner, which I think is almost everybody, okay? So the cool thing about this is that this becomes very personalized. You have the ability to stop, pause, rewind, speed up, slow down the video so that you can learn at your own pace. And so it's self-paced, okay? So you're not going to be sitting there in class saying, hey, I don't want to raise my hand and ask a question because I don't want to slow the class down. You can go at your own pace. You can do whatever you want. Okay. So the cool other thing, is the convenience of this. Is that you can do this class on your own time and you can do it anywhere that you have an internet connection. Okay, which is one of the really cool things about online learning. But the most important thing that you have to do is you must learn how to be a student in this type of class. Okay, and we're going to learn how to do that here in a second. So sit back, and what I want you guys to do is to get out that the syllabus and note packet that that is on the syllabus orientation assignment. I want you to make sure you have that printed out. We're going to go over how to take notes and how to be a student in this online class in the next part of the video. All right, so in this portion of the video, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about how to take notes. And so what I want you to notice is that this page here that you see matches what you guys have printed out from the syllabus orientation PDF that's on Canvas. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to talk about how to take notes. All right, so I'm going to write on this part of the paper, and what I want you guys to do is to follow along and write down what I write down, okay? And the purpose of this, how this class works, is we're going to practice taking notes. All right, and that's our objective for this, all right? So we're going to talk about various things about this class, but this is kind of the practice on how to take notes. And let's go ahead and start this. So the purpose of the videos, okay, now the purpose of the videos, guys, is that we want to learn from the videos. Oops. From the videos, okay? That's the point of them, all right? And that's where you guys are going to do the majority of your learning. Now, when we, your way to access the videos, so these are accessible, so you can access them on Canvas, okay? Or you can access them on YouTube as well, okay? And the important thing is that we learn from the videos. Okay, I can't stress that enough, that you learn. This is where you learn in this class. So you learn from the videos, okay? And this is very important that we understand that. Okay, so very important that we understand that that's where we are learning, okay? And the cool thing about having videos and learning from the videos is you have the ability to pause, rewind, speed up, or slow down the videos, okay? And that's a feature that's on YouTube, is that you have the ability to pause, rewind, speed up, slow down anything. So if you feel like, hey, I know this pretty well, I can go through this at a pretty fast pace, that's fine. If you want to slow down the video to have it make more sense so that you have more time to write, that's cool too. Cool thing is that you can pause, you can rewind, and go back through. All right. The other thing about the purpose of the videos is that there isn't a designated time that this class meets, so you have to create time. So where is the time that you're going to utilize the videos? You have to make time for this class, okay? And that's important, okay? Now, right now, this is a 5 credit hour course, okay? And what's recommended is that, for a 5 credit hour course, that you spend, for every credit hour of courses that you're taking, that you're spending 2 to 3 hours per credit hour working outside of class. So what that means, basically, for this class, the recommended time is anywhere from 10 to 15 hours per week, okay? Now, I'm going to be pretty real with you guys. this is the most important thing about the class, is that you find the time to do this per week. If you don't, this class will be a struggle, okay? This class takes time. Learning math takes time, okay? It's not something that you're going to hear once and simply absorb. You need to practice. You need to do homework. You need to watch the videos. It is going to take time. This is only recommended, okay? I've known people that can spend probably a little bit less than this. I've seen students that have spent more time than this per week. But the bottom line is that you have to spend a certain amount of time doing this class. Otherwise, it's going to be a struggle, okay? Now, if you do spend this amount of time per week on this class, that's something, and you will be fine, okay? If you spend time and you're working and you're following all the directions I give you, you're going to be fine. But I just want to make sure that I have this information out there, and that's the expectation, is that you are doing this on your own, okay? All right, the other cool thing about the videos is that you can go back and rewatch, okay? So, there are times where we will have an opportunity to meet virtually, but you have the ability to rewatch the videos, okay? So that if you have a question and you're going, hey, I've got all day to work on this, I can't meet with Joe for a while, then, you have the ability to go back and rewatch those videos, okay? Now, the next thing I want to talk about is how to take notes, okay? Taking notes is a very difficult skill to learn, okay? Oftentimes I remember, when I would take notes, I would, go through them. I would take notes, write everything down the teacher says, and then when I went back to, to go look at my notes to see if they could help me answer a question, oftentimes I'd look at my notes and I'd have no idea what, the teacher would say. Okay, so it's really important that we know how to take notes because, the point of taking notes is that you learn from your notes, okay? So, all right, first of all, okay, strategies for taking notes is you want to write down everything, that the teacher writes. Okay, that the teacher writes. Okay, that's the first thing. Okay, so you want to write those things down. Okay, but the biggest important thing about notes is that you want to make sure that you understand the notes. Okay, that is the biggest aspect of this. Understand your notes. Okay, because if you don't understand your notes, well then what are you doing? Why are you writing notes? Okay, there's no point. Okay, so the other tactic about taking notes and making sure that you understand what you're doing is that sometimes you may want to write down what the teacher says but doesn't write. Okay, and that's important because, there are times when I'll be explaining a concept and I'll be, describing that concept and you'll want to, maybe jot down some of those things that I'm saying, okay? Another tactic for taking good notes is writing down step-by-step instructions. So write down step-by-step instructions on how to do things. Okay. All right. The other thing that you can do is, let's say you're stuck on something while you're, watching a video. You should also be writing down questions you have. And that's a really good tactic, okay? Writing down questions you have. And sometimes I will answer those questions in the video. Sometimes I may not, okay? And so those are things that you can, often, after the video say, hey, I got a question, I don't understand this aspect of, the video. And that's totally normal and that's totally fine, but it's important you write those things down. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about on how to take notes is that you will have to turn these in for a grade. So you will turn in for a grade. Okay, and that's really important that we do this because I do take a grade on this. Okay, all right, and so let's kind of talk about that. Let's talk how to do homework and turn it in. So we'll turn homework the same way in as we turn in notes, and I'll talk about that. But the one thing I want to talk about here is that homework is due weekly on Thursdays at 11:59 p.m. Okay, so homework and your notes and all the things that are due for the week are due on Thursdays at 11:59 p.m. Okay, I do accept late work, but I gotta keep some sort of like schedule, and so Thursdays at midnight is the time at which I expect things to be done. I know you guys have lives. I know that you may take a day or two to get those in. But it's really important that we try to get those in Thursdays at midnight, okay? So let's talk about how to do homework. First things first, homework is done out of the book, okay? Homework is done out of the book, all right? So make sure that you get the book, and we'll talk about that with that information's in your syllabus with the ISBN number and all that kind of stuff. So it's important that we get that purchased here soon. And that information can also be found online on Basecamp. So homework is also done on notebook paper or some sort of paper, okay? All right. And you will, but the difference is that you will turn this in online, okay? So you'll turn it in on Canvas. So turn in online on Canvas, okay? And I'll show you how to do that. And what I want you to do for that, in order to turn it in online, is you'd want to scan this in. So scan in as a PDF, okay? And that's how you'll turn those in. There are apps on the phone that you can use to scan those in. There are, like Tiny Scanner and things like that. But the other, the other main scanner that you can use is simply, if you have an iPhone, you can use the Notes app through, and you can scan in PDFs that way, okay? Now, we're doing homework. One of the things that you'll have to do is check your answers, okay? So how to check your answers. And what I'll provide with you guys are the solutions. So solutions to the homework will be online. So solutions are posted online. Okay. And so, it's important that you check your answers. Okay. So when you're, doing your homework, one of the things that you'd want to do is you want to sit there and the first question that you want to ask yourself is, am I correct? Okay, so the first question you'd ask yourself is, am I correct? All right, when you're checking your work, okay? And then the second question you'd want to ask yourself is, let me write this down, second question is my work correct? So does the work that I have or my logic match what the teacher has? So is the work correct? All right. And that's really important. It's important that to get from point A to point B, is your work logical? Is it correct? Okay. All right. So the other thing is that if you're wrong, Okay, so if you get a question wrong, so if you're wrong, all right, can you explain the teacher's step-by-step process? Okay, can you explain the step-by-step process on the solutions? Okay, and that's kind of a unique. Can you? Okay, so let me put a question mark here. Okay, I want to talk about that for just a quick minute here. Okay, so when you're checking your solutions, okay, if you're wrong, okay, so let's say you're doing homework and you get something wrong, can you go through my work and go step by step and understand what I did from step to step? When you can do that and you understand that flow of my work, that is a way to learn math, okay? And that's something that you guys have to do on your own. So the solutions, the answers can help you understand how to do the problems, okay? Now, the important thing is that you don't just simply copy, okay? So that you, all right, so do not copy, all right? You will not learn anything from simply copying answers online, okay? The point of this is that you want to use the solutions for understanding, okay? These are a tool, all right? Use solutions for understanding, okay? Not to simply copy. And there's a reason why I'm doing this, okay? And this is one of the cool things that's going to help you learn in this class. And it's the most important part of this class, is that you are going to record yourself doing math, okay? And this is the most important part of the course, all right? So this is the most important part of the course. All right. And this is where you're going to do the most learning, okay? So let's talk about what my expectations are for this, okay? The important thing is when you record yourself doing math, okay, I want to hear your voice and see you write. Much like how you're seeing this now, okay? You know, you don't see my face on this, but you can hear my voice and you can see what I'm writing, okay? So that is I have to have that, okay? This is a must. If I don't see what you're writing down as you're saying it, I can't grade that, okay? I have to really see what you write and hear your voice, okay? Now, in order to record yourself, you have to choose a method of recording. So choose a method of recording that works for you, okay? So choose a method of recording. Now, what I use, guys, is I use an iPad and I use a software called Explain Everything. Now, I had to buy the iPad and I had to pay for the software. So, you know, the key to this is I don't want you to go out and have to do exactly what I'm doing. If you have an iPad and you have a stylus and you're capable of doing that and uploading those videos into Canvas, then that's great. But, you know, let's kind of think of like some options that you can use. You can use a tablet, all right, and you can write on it just like how I'm doing. You can use a phone, okay? And what I mean by that is you could hold your phone up, all right, hold the phone up so that and show your writing. Hold the phone up, and then show your writing. Okay, that's probably the most preferred way. I feel like this method here is probably the best because you guys all have phones, okay, and that's a pretty easy thing to do, okay. The other thing that you can do is use your computer, okay. Your computer has a webcam, okay. So you can use your webcam and a whiteboard. And what I'm noticing is that some of you guys already have, have already taken one of my classes, and you're familiar with that process. Okay, so you can use a webcam on your computer and a whiteboard and write on that. Okay. And so, but the main thing is, if you're going to use your webcam and a whiteboard, the important thing is that I need to see you write. So, and hear your voice. It may be awkward. It may take a little bit of getting used to, but those are some ways that I want you to do. So, be aware that this may take time to troubleshoot. Okay, this may take time to troubleshoot. All right, especially with uploading the videos into Canvas, okay? And we'll talk about like file size and all that kind of stuff. Okay, the other thing is you're probably sitting there going, all right, taking a math class online is very different, okay? How do you ask for help in an online setting, okay? And the cool thing is that every week I hold virtual office hours. Depending on what class you're in, there is a set time per week that I can do that. So, if you're, I'll label that in the next part of the video, depending on if you're in Math 050 or 055. So virtual office hours, and this is done through WebEx. So the cool thing is that, CMC, so done through this program called WebEx. And what it does, I basically sit in front of my computer. I have my webcam on me, and you guys will log in. I'll be able to see your face or hear your voice, and then you will be able to see. I'll be able to plug in my iPad, and I'll be able to actually write in real time, and we can have a conversation, and I can go over stuff with you in real time, okay? So, pretty cool thing that we have. So virtual office hours, utilize them, okay? And so let's just write down that we can talk in real time. Okay. I can instruct in real time. So I can instruct in real time. Okay. And that's pretty powerful. So if you're sitting there and you're like, hey, I got a question, and it's over just, something pretty quick and easy, I can write on the iPad and we can have a conversation, and it's pretty cool. The other thing that you can do is, in here, let's talk about this. Virtual office hours, those happen typically between 6 and 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday. 6 to 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday. Depending on what class you're in, it won't be every day, but, so like one class will run Monday and Wednesday. The other class that I teach will run Tuesdays and Thursdays, okay? So I can't remember which one's which, but so it's only going to be 2 days a week that I'll hold this, okay? If those times don't work for you, you can schedule a time, okay? I am rather flexible. If there's a time, say early in the morning or directly after school, that's a time that we can, meet if that works for you. If 6 to 8 p.m. is like absolutely not happening, let me know. Okay, if you want to get together, we can get together. All right, but you have to make sure that you schedule that time with me and make sure it works. Okay, I do have a life, believe it or not, and I do things outside of working. I have a full-time job, guys. I work from 7:30 a.m. until 3:30 p.m. and then I do this stuff in the evening. So if there is a time that works a little bit better for you, we can make that work. But it's important that you do this, okay? The other thing that you can do is you can send me an email, send a picture of your question, okay? And I will respond with a video, okay? I can quickly make a video and just send it off to you. So respond with a video, okay? The other thing that you can do, if you want to, you can just send me a video, okay, and telling me where you're having trouble, all right? So, a lot of different ways where you can ask questions and get help from me, okay? One of the things that we got to talk about is where to take exams, okay? You are going to take 4 total assessments, okay? 4 total assessments, all right? 2 will be take-home exams, okay? 2 are take-home. And we're going to call those tests. So 2 take-home tests. Okay. And then you will take 2 proctored exams. And a proctored exam means that you have to go to a CMC location. All right, let's write this down first. Okay. Hold on. So 2 take-home tests, and those will be scanned in as a PDF. So scanned as a PDF. Okay. When you take your proctored exam, this will be done at a CMC testing location. So done at a CMC testing location. All right. You will have to schedule this. So these are scheduled in advance, and I'll talk more about that. Scheduled in advance during a certain week, okay? During a specific time. All right. So there will be a week where you'll have to take your midterm and your final, and those will have to be done at CMC. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about here is your grading policy. Okay, and your grading policy is as such. You have homework and notes. Okay, you have weekly demonstration of skills, okay, which I call recording yourself. So weekly demonstration of skills. Okay. And this is going to be where you record yourself. Record yourself. Okay. The last thing that we have are tests and exams. Okay. Now, within each of these, your homework and your notes accounts for 5% of your grade. This is weighted. Okay. The weekly demonstration of skills, when you record yourself, is a whopping 35%. Okay. Tests and exams are going to be 65%. Or no, 60%, sorry. Okay. Now, here's what you need. In order to pass, okay, this is very, very important. So, in order to pass the class, all right, you must earn at least a 75%. Must earn at least 75%. Okay, so I put the videos, the weekly demonstration of skills, as a very high weight because this is the most important part of the class. Okay, it's important, yes, that you do your homework and you do. It should be HW, not HM. Homework and notes is important. That's where you do your learning. But this is where you are going to learn the most. Okay, and then you have to perform on a test or exam. Okay, so that's how the breakdown is going to go. And I just want to make sure that that's clear, that you guys understand that. All right. So, I want you to take a look at this. All right. I wrote very, very, very small when I wrote these notes down. Okay. You will need to write small. Okay. Because I write small. All right. But utilize your space. If you need a couple extra pieces of paper, all the notes will be provided to you. This is how, my videos typically run. But I wanted to make sure that I went through, not only how to take notes and some strategies for taking notes, but just kind of like how to be a student in this online class, okay? And if you follow these instructions, you will be very successful, okay? And the most important thing, remember, is your time, okay? It's going to take time. So if you're not prepared to spend that kind of time, or any time, all right, then, it's not going to happen, okay? You are in college. You are going to have to do this thing called put in the good old college try, which means you actually just kind of sit down and do the work. So, all right, so that's it for this portion of the video. The next part, we're going to go over the syllabus, important dates, and things like that. So hang. Okay, wanted to talk about the syllabus real quick for Math 055. So all of this first information is pretty important. You have your title, algebraic literacy, the course code. This is fall 2019. This is an online course. This is a 4-credit class, okay? Your prerequisite for this class is to either take Math 050 or an AccuPlacer score, okay? And then remember that you also have a co-requisite section that you have to take in addition to Math 055. So this is Math 025, okay, and this is your lab course, okay, and this is required if you are taking Math 055, okay, so if you're not, then let's make sure that we, get in on that and, get moving on that. So, your start date for this class is Monday, August 26th. The last day for the class is December 13th. And, those are the important start and end dates, okay? I will hopefully have all this information out to you before the 26th. And you'd want to get started on the class at least by then, but I should have it loaded a couple days beforehand. The other two important dates here are the refund date and the withdraw date. So in the event that you are sitting there and you're going, hey, maybe this class isn't for me, or I'm not doing so well, the last day to drop the course and get a refund is September 11th, 2019. Okay, the last day to withdraw from the course with a W would be to drop it on or withdraw on November 15th, 2019. Okay, and what this means is that if you decide to drop the course past this date, it will show up on your transcript as an F, and that could be really bad for financial aid and GPA and stuff like that. So, okay, so moving on. My information, again, my name is Joseph Police. My cell phone is 913-205-5667. I will be calling you guys to touch base about things in the class, to see how you're doing, to make sure that you have all the information that you need to be successful. So if you see this number and it's from Kansas, then it's most likely me calling just to check in to see how you're doing. This is my email address, so if you want to get a hold of me, either way, you can text me, call, or email me. Office hours, we can do office hours virtually through the computer. And those are by appointment only. I might have said in the previous part of the video that that office hours are from 6 to 8, Monday through Thursday. That is obviously the case. That is the time when I am available. But you want to make sure that you set up an appointment with me, because in the past, I'll sit there and wait for you guys to show up and, see if anybody does. And sometimes people do, sometimes people don't. So if you want to meet with me virtually, then we have to do that by appointment only, okay? The next part of this syllabus talks about the required course materials. So with your text, so when you sign up for this class, you are automatically provided a textbook through the LMP, that is the Learning Materials Program, okay? So it's a library-like lease rental system which allows you to use and reuse textbooks wherever possible. So if you opt in for the physical copy, you probably already got that, or the digital copy, either one, they work. So you just want to make sure that you are talking to your advisor or people from the LMP to talk about your books, okay? It is important that you return your books by the last day of the semester when the class is concluded, and all that, okay? So, make sure you guys read this information to talk, that talks directly about how to handle this. So, I don't necessarily deal with this. I merely just say which book to get, and then you guys have to do this part, okay? So, but if you do have any other questions, then, let me know. All right, take a look at the next page. Okay, so if you do drop the course, within the allotted time, make sure that you return the textbooks within 7 days to avoid any fees, okay? Here's the information on where to go to do that. If you have additional questions, then make sure you contact LMP or your campus representative. Here's a phone number and here's an email to do all that, okay? Now, in addition to the the book, okay, this is an online class. You will need a computer with internet access. If you are struggling to find internet access, then that's something that, I want you guys to, make sure that you have a backup plan, either a coffee shop or a, McDonald's or some place where you can get free Wi-Fi, or a public library. The other thing is that you can download my videos from YouTube to your device, okay? So all my videos are on YouTube. So if you find those videos, and I'll send you a link with those in an email that you can access those, you want to make sure that you do that if you have limited internet access, okay? You will need the internet access to upload assignments into Canvas and turn in videos and all that good stuff, okay? You will also need a method to record yourself doing math. So you'll need a camera either on your cell phone, a webcam on your computer, or a tablet device. You can do your own math on paper, whiteboard, or tablet device that you can write on. I don't want you guys to go out and spend any more money that you need to. If you already have those devices and you can make it work, then do that. But if not, then stick with a cell phone or a webcam. You don't need to go out and buy a tablet device. I use an iPad, but that's just me. That's how I teach. So if you have an iPad, you can find things that will, you can use to write on. So here is the textbook information, Algebra Concepts and Applications, Bittinger, Ellenbogen and Johnson, 10th edition. Here's the ISBN numbers. You will also need a basic calculator. You can't use a cell phone at a CMC testing center, so it's important that you have like a scientific calculator or a basic calculator, something to do computation, but it can't be a cell phone, okay? You will also need some sort of notebook, paper, and pencils, okay? The next part of the this syllabus talks about the course description. I'll let you guys read through this. This is what we're going to cover in this class, especially the student learning outcomes, competencies, and skills. Okay, let's go to the next page. Okay, this portion talks about the topical outline. These are all the different concepts that we are going to cover in Math 055, okay? And then the Individual Development and Educational Assessment Objectives, the IDEA objectives, are objectives that things that I want you to come away out of this class learning that, isn't necessarily just math related. And this is more just about the concept of learning, how to learn, and apply what you know to other situations. Okay, so that's what those are. All right, let's take a look at the next page. Okay, this next part is very important. This talks about the evaluation method. So this is how I grade you guys. Now, each week, you guys will turn in homework assignments and weekly demonstration of skills. And this is the recording yourself portion of the class. And the homework assignments accounts for 15% of your grade. Now, on the previous part, I had different percentages. These are the ones that we're going to use for the class. So 15% of your grade comes from doing the homework and the guided notes, and then 25% of your grade comes from doing the videos, okay? The other part, the big part, comes from your tests and your exams. That's going to account for 60% of your grade. This is the majority of your grade right here. Now, you have two things here. You have tests, which are completed at home, and then you have exams, which are done for the midterm and the final. Now, the exams, those are completed at any CMC testing center. I'll provide more information on that as those dates arrive, but this is proctored, and what it means is that someone is watching you take the test so that you're not doing it with any other resources, okay? So this is a true test, your midterm and final, and I'll talk more about that, but those are to be completed at a CMC testing center during certain weeks, okay? The next thing I want to talk about is your grading scale. So to get an A, you would have a 90 to 100% is an A. A B would give you from 80 to 89%. A C is a 75 to 79%, and then a D goes from 60 to 74%, and then an F would be anything lower than a 59. Now, what I want to talk about here real quick is that anything you have to pass the class with a 75% or better, okay? And so if you are not, say you get a 74%, that's a D. That does not allow you to pass this class, okay? So that is one of the things, that you have to make sure you do in order to pass this class, okay? The next part I want to talk about is classroom management, all right? So when you turn in assignments, you want to make sure that you have your name, the date, and the name of the activity. Make sure you scan it in as a PDF or picture and submit that to Canvas. I'll have more information on how to do that later in this video. The next part, number 2, is really, really, really important, okay? And that's talking about weekly assignments, okay? Weekly assignments are due at 11:59 p.m. each Thursday night unless the instructor has indicated otherwise. Okay, I do accept, so work will be accepted late with no penalty, but this is highly discouraged. Okay, so here's the deal. I know that life happens, okay? And I know that there will be times where some things will happen and you won't get to your homework and you'll fall a little bit behind. You don't want to fall that far behind. I will accept late work, but I don't want to sit there, and I don't want you to sit there and just let this work pile on, because once all the work piles on, it will be very, very hard to play catch up, okay? So it's highly discouraged to turn in things late. Okay, attendance in an online class is extremely important. Students are encouraged to spend some time each day working on this class, okay? Students should spend at least 15 hours per week on this course to ensure success. That's a lot of time. That's like a third of a standard work week you were spending on this class. I know that sounds like a lot of time, guys, but that's kind of the time that's required in order for you to learn all this material in a pretty quick manner and at a high level, okay? So it's really important that you spend this time per week. If you take a week off, it's going to hurt you, okay? And I'm just going to say that because that's how it goes, all right? Unfortunately, I can't take any content out of this class. So, what we're already going to be learning is what we're going to be learning, okay? Number 4, students are required, okay, we're pretty much in an online setting, but be nice to each other, okay? Students experiencing problems with classwork are responsible for telling the teacher. So if you're struggling with something, you need to talk to me, okay? I can provide you with extra help. I can meet with you virtually, but you have to let me know, okay? There will be times where I'll reach out, like if you don't turn anything for a couple of weeks, I will be making a phone call just to catch up, see how you're doing, making sure that you got everything done. What do you need? How can I help? Those kinds of things. All right. But it's really important that if you're having problems, that you let me know. Okay. Number 8, I will post homework and test grades on Canvas. So make sure that you check Canvas regularly so that you know how you're doing in this class. And we'll go from there. All right. So the next thing is how to be successful in this class. First of all, be an active learner. Watch all the videos and take good notes. You learn from the videos, and you should rewatch those if you need to. Okay, follow my example and practice. Okay, the next thing, do the homework. Okay, it is a proven statistic. The more time students spend on homework, the higher their success rate. Number 3, participate in the weekly discussion posts. Those will be posted on your lab course. Make sure that you're recording the videos. This is the most important part of the learning process, okay? If you can explain how to do the problems to someone else, then you will know the material very well and perform much better on the exams, okay? Make sure you're checking the homework with the back of the book and the solutions that I provide you online, okay? Those are there as a learning tool, not to just copy things down. You could also read your textbook. Okay, that has, you can do that. That will also teach you how to do all this stuff. Okay, the other thing, make sure you have an organized schedule. Okay, make sure you're taking time each week, each day to work on this so that this class runs smoothly for you. Okay, if you want to form study groups with other people in the class, you guys have that ability. You can communicate with each other. And lastly, if you don't get my explanations, you want a different approach, there are other videos, through Khan Academy and, say, Purple Math, okay? The next part of this talks about information to know if you're a CMC student. This is, your right to know certain things, so click on these links, read them. This is the notice of non-discrimination. So, please make sure that you are contacting the necessary people if you are experiencing any sort of trouble in that realm. Okay. The next thing talks about the tentative course schedule. Now, all of this stuff is located on Canvas. So all of these sections, all the due dates, all the homework, all that good stuff can be found on Canvas, can also be found in your notes. But what I want to talk about here is this column here, the week number, and then the sections covered. So each week, you'll see on Canvas that you have like modules for every week. Every week, all this stuff is going to be due that Thursday. So in this case, this is going to be due on 8/29, okay? During week 2, okay, this stuff would be due on September 5th, okay? So you have these different sections that are going to be due each of these weeks. And that's how that works, okay? So, you have to turn in the notes, you got to turn in the homework, and you have to do the video for all of these sections by the 29th. Now, during that first week, that's kind of a daunting task. So, I understand if you're going to get, a little flustered and maybe not finish everything during the first week, that's okay. But you just want to make sure that you are trying your best to stay on track, okay? Let's take a look at the next page, which has a little bit more detail for the rest of the semester. Okay, so during the rest of the weeks, okay, it shows what we've got going on. Now, what I want you to see here is that during week 4, you are going to be taking your first test, and this is your take-home test. I'll have more information on what that's going to look like in a couple of weeks. Okay, but realize that during that week, you will also have 2 sections that you have to complete during week 4. So time is of the essence. You want to make sure that you're ready to take this test and have that thing done by, and finish these sections all in the same week. That's a hard thing to do, but it's important that we do that. Now, some of these weeks, you have 4 sections. Some of them you have 2 sections, some you have 3, some you have 4. It just depends, guys. But that's what I mean by, we are moving each week and we are learning new stuff each week. So it's really important that we work pretty hard and try and get these things done. Okay, during week 8, we have our midterm exam. That's the one that you have to have proctored at a CMC location. I will be sending out emails, to tell you more about that. So it's important that you, pay attention to those and read those emails. But during this week, that's the only thing that you have to do. Kind of nice. Nothing else due that week. Okay, now you can always work ahead on things. All this stuff is available to you. You can work at your own pace, but you just don't want to fall behind. Okay. During week 12, you guys have your third test, which is a take-home test, and that's a few weeks before Thanksgiving. By the time that the week of Thanksgiving rolls around, we are going to be completely done learning new content. Okay, now you can turn things in during this week and during week 14 and week 15 and even week 16, but week 16 is when you'll need to be taking your final exam, which will need to be proctored at a CMC location, okay? And that's what's going on, all right? The last thing we want to talk about are CMC libraries. Okay, so we do have libraries that are both in-person and virtual. You may want to click on these links to see what you have access to. Let's go to the last page. Okay, so on some of these, at these different campuses, Dillon, Edwards, Rifle, Spring Valley, Steamboat, and Timberline, that's where you guys have in-person libraries. Okay, all other campuses don't, but you always have, the ability to access libraries, on the virtually on the internet. Okay, the one other thing is that there are tutors available for you. I forget where that's mentioned in the syllabus, but if you do need a tutor and I'm not able to help, reach out to your advisors, see what options are available to you. A lot of campuses do have on-campus tutors that can help. Okay, so that about wraps it up. The next part of the video is going to talk about how to turn in homework, notes, and how to record videos. So hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you in a few. Thanks, bye. All right, so on this part, I want to talk about how to take notes and turn them in. So one of the hard things about an online class is my ability to check your work, to check to see if you've done it, if you've done what I've asked you to do. And so what we have to do is we have to do this, turn things in digitally. All right, so the first things first, what I want you to do is, have your computer open and have your notes out. Okay, and then whenever I write on the computer, then you write out on your notes. Okay, when you're done with that, when you've watched the video and you've taken all the notes, what I want you to do is then take a picture of your notes, okay, and put a smile on your face because we're having fun when we do this. But when you have this, you can either take a picture of the actual notes themselves, or you can. But the difference is that you get kind of all this extra stuff on the sides and all that. So what you could do is scan it in with your phone, okay? And there's an app for that. And that app is called the Tiny Scanner PDF scanner. So what you would do, what it does is it takes the camera on your phone and it turns it into a PDF scanner. So what I would want you to do, if you do the PDF scanner, you'll create a document that is, your notes. Okay, so you would have a document that does this, or what you can do is you can do, take the photo and paste it into a Word document. And then save as a PDF. Okay, and you can do that too. I would prefer you to do it as a PDF. In any case, I want you to turn in PDFs. Okay, but if you do, I would prefer if you guys scan them in as a PDF before you do anything. But that's kind of my preference. But if you want to take a photo and put it and paste it into a Word document, you can do that too. Okay, now what I mean by that is take a photo, you may want to email it to yourself and then put it into a Word document, save it as a PDF. And then, the cool thing is, guys, is that not only do you have like a physical copy of this, but you have a digital copy as well, okay? And a part of this, to practice this, to turn it in, I actually want you to do the same thing with the notes from your orientation. Okay, so right now what I would like you to do is to practice this by physically taking and doing this, taking a scanner, scanning in a photo, and putting it into a PDF, and then turning it in on Canvas. Okay, so you turn them in on Canvas, and it'll be the assignment. So there's instructions on that page on Canvas that tells you what to do. Okay, so now let's talk about doing homework. Okay, on this part, how to do homework and turn it in, you'll turn it in the same way. So you'll turn it in the same way as you would notes. So turn it in, and that's going to be the same way as notes. Okay, and you've had practice on doing that, on Canvas. But I want you to take a look at this picture. Okay, when you're doing homework, there's a couple of things I want you to consider here. Okay, number one is that your notes are out. Okay, so here, what I want you to see here is that you have your notes are out. Okay, and you also have the video out. Okay, and so what happens is that as you're going through problems, what you should do is you should look at your notes and say, okay, if I'm trying to do this problem, what did I do in my notes? Now, if you go into your notes and you say, okay, wait a second, this doesn't make any sense, you should go back to the video and rewatch the video. What did we do in the video that helped us do the problem in the notes? And then how could we apply that to do it from the book, okay? And then you would do your homework on a piece of paper, okay? And what I'd want you to then do is turn it in the same way as you would the notes, okay? And then I'll grade it, accordingly. So, but that's the idea. Okay, now the other thing is that you can also use the homework solutions, okay? Use the solutions to help you understand how I got the answer. So use it to understand. So use it to understand, okay, and not to copy. Okay, and so we've already kind of, talked about all that kind of stuff, and you can access the homework solutions on Canvas. Okay, those will be available to you on Canvas as well. All right, so, that about does it for homework, okay, and if you've got questions, get a hold of me, please, all right, and that's all I have for that, okay? Okay, the last little part I want to talk about is recording yourself. Now, what I do is I use a tablet. I use an iPad with a stylus to do this. To get the sound right, what I do is I use the headphones because on the Apple headphones, you have a microphone right here, and so you always consistently get good sound from that. So this is one option, okay? But there is also another option, and the other option is using Canvas, okay? So using Canvas. And this is kind of the preferred option. This is the cheaper option, obviously, as well. So using Canvas, you'll need to go out and get a small whiteboard, okay? And the whiteboards, I've looked on Amazon, the small whiteboard is around like $8, okay? You'll want to get some whiteboard markers as well. So whiteboard markers, and those are a little expensive too, but you can get those at any, Target, Walmart, whatever. And you can also get a small whiteboard at those same places too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to actually do that on Canvas and how to record yourself doing math on Canvas using the whiteboard. Okay, so what I want you to do for this next part, is actually use the camera that's on your computer. Okay, so use the little camera that's right there, and what you'll do is you'll then bring up your whiteboard here, and this is fun. Mine's really big. Yours probably wouldn't be so big, but then what I want you to do is come in here and say, okay, what is, 7 plus 3, okay? I know that 7 plus 3 is equal to 10, and you would make a video explaining that, kind of like what I do, all right? So that's the idea of what I want you to do. Now on Canvas, there will actually be a portion where you can, the assignment will be for you to actually record yourself doing it, okay? And you'll see that on one of them. So on the assignment for the orientation video, what I want you guys to do is to actually just record yourself talking and introduce yourself to me, and give you points for that. So that's kind of the idea. So make sure you go out and get a whiteboard, get a couple whiteboard markers. This one I think shows up backwards for some reason. Yours probably wouldn't do that. If it does, then we'll deal with that and go from there. But yeah, pretty much it. So hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you in a bit. Thanks. All right, so if you're going to record yourself, using your phone to do this, what I would recommend doing is taking your phone, holding it up, and then, writing underneath, okay? And that might be a little bit weird for you, but that might, be a tactic that you can utilize. Okay, when you do that, you're just going to hover your phone over and, just start writing. It is a little weird because you can't really see what you're doing. You may have to tilt your head over to the right so that you can write better. All right, and then kind of follow your phone along to show that you can write. So that's probably one of the easiest ways to do this. But just trying to give you guys as many options as possible to make your videos. Okay, so once you guys have recorded your video and you have that done, go ahead and hit the export button, which is in the bottom left. And what you'll notice is, I have this video that I just did, and that's the one that's selected. Right below that, you can see this thing called AirDrop. So if you have an iPhone and you have a Mac, you can send files between those devices using AirDrop. So if I automatically just click on my Mac, it'll send this over to my Mac. It might take a minute because it's a video, and it takes a minute to do a video. But what it will do is that will then be downloaded by my computer, and I'll have that video on my computer. The other thing that you can do is, and I'm just going to go ahead and decline it because I don't need it. I will in a minute. I'll need this video. So the video of the video, okay, incepted videos, okay. But you can also email it. You could maybe do, however you want to do it, iCloud photo sharing, send it to yourself via text, or Google Drive, or whatever you want to do. There might be some more options here. It just kind of depends on what you have on your phone. So email works. We'll talk about YouTube if we want to go down that road, but I would prefer not. I prefer all these to be uploaded into Canvas. All right, so while we're on the concept of talking about recording yourself, I want to make a couple of quick notes. And the first thing is that your files, when you do upload these videos, can be no longer larger than 5 megabits, okay? But the cool thing is that you can upload as many videos you want into that assignment, but each video can't exceed 5 megabits. So you may, have this issue where you've got too many, your video's too long, you can cut it up, okay? And the other important thing is I must see you writing and hear your voice. I know I've talked about that, but it's so important. What I had in the past is that people, it'd be like this, a webcam on their face, and they'd be writing, and then I wouldn't be able to see what they were writing when they were like this, and then they just show it, okay? I can't have that anymore. We got to figure something out where we can, I need to hear your voice and see what you're writing as you're talking, okay? I think the best bet is to take your phone, hold it above your paper, and record that way, okay? So it's important that we give that a shot. I think that's probably the easiest way. And, transferring those files, those can be done over email, Dropbox, Google Drive, AirDrop if you're using a Mac and an iPhone, those kinds of things. So, you know, that's something that you're going to have to spend some time with, trying to figure out what's going to work best for you, okay? And I want to make sure that you guys are, you know, ready and capable to do that, and that this runs smoothly, okay? So that's all. All right, so I know I just said how I don't want you guys to upload videos to YouTube. However, an option available to you is to upload your videos to YouTube. You can do this a number of ways. You can do it through your phone. You can do it through your computer. But what I want you to know is that you have a Google account with your CMC account. So the same way that you sign in to your CMC account also provides you with a Google account. Because Google owns YouTube, you also have a free YouTube account, okay? And the cool thing about that is that these videos can be as long as you want, okay? You're not restricted to size, and then in order to submit, okay, you will submit a link into Canvas, okay? And you can do that, but you can also just directly submit these videos into Canvas, however you want to do it. I find that this is a lot easier to do than submitting them on Canvas, but it all just depends on what you want to do. So, all right, next part. All I got for this part. Okay, real quick, I want to talk to you guys about some of my expectations for Math 055. Because you're in Math 055, what that means is that you have shown us that you know all the most, if not all, of the concepts from Math 050. Okay, so you are responsible for all prior knowledge, like operating with fractions. Now, I will help you with this, but it's also something you can't have that excuse and say, oh, I don't know how to do that, therefore I can't do this problem, okay? So you need to make sure that you remember how to do those types of things. I will help you through that process. Come to office hours and utilize, the resources available to you, okay? The other thing I want to talk about is that not every homework problem will match the problem in the notes, okay? So you might encounter a homework problem that's like, ugh, this one might be kind of hard, okay? And you may not have an example like that. I will do my best to make sure that I have made extra videos for you to help you with those types of problems, okay? So if you want me to make a couple of more videos, just let me know, okay? The other thing is that office hours and homework should be solutions are your friends. Use them as resources, okay? So use the solutions, use office hours to try and figure things out, to try and help you, learn things you may not be comfortable with, okay? So it's really important that you utilize those resources, okay? Especially homework solutions. Use those to help figure out how to do problems, okay? So, just wanted to go over some of those expectations with you. All right, so just to wrap this up, guys, I want to just, talk about a couple things. I know this is a lot of information in this video, but the first thing I want you to understand is that I want you to believe in yourself, okay? This class is going to be hard, all right? It's going to require a lot of time. It's going to require a lot of effort, but you can do it. You have to believe in yourself. That's the first thing, and I believe in every single one of you, and I know that you can do well in this class, okay? Now, just to close up, want to talk about a couple things. First things first, communication. I will be sending out a weekly email, an announcement to you guys with regards to things that are going on. You can expect that usually over the weekend on Sundays, and that'll be an announcement on Canvas, and it'll also be, sent to your email, okay? The other thing I want to talk about is that, this might be a very brand new way for you to learn math, and that's okay. But I want you to believe in this process. I know it works. I think this is probably one of the best ways for you to learn math, but it's going to require effort on your part, okay? It's going to require you to be an active learner versus a passive learner, okay? And that's really cool, all right? Not many classes can say that. The last thing I'm going to say is success in this class is determined by hard work and time. Remember, guys, 10 to 15 hours per week. Okay? That's recommended. If you can do that, you're going to do great. All right? You got to make time for this. All right? So, you know, guys, let me know if you have any questions. That's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon. I can't wait to work with you.